Solo.
And hello! Welcome to Solo Playthroughs for the first time since October. No shit. Oh, Saget, bringing it in the chat as always. Yeah, I'm sure that intro music sounded all jacked up. I gotta listen to that back. It's been a while playing with these settings and making sure I have it just right. All right, we have Saget, 45 minutes to go. Hope he does not reschedule. Definitely did not reschedule. Silva Fear says, yes! Tabletop Troubadour says, Greg, oh heck yeah. Saget, watch him come with no beard. Brian, Silva Fear, oh how I've missed that intro. Greg, hey everyone. Tabletop Troubadour, but with brand new gavel. And Jonathan K, what's up, buddy? Yo, Greg, what's up? I actually just was playing a lot of Zeds recently, so I was thinking about you, sir. John Olderson, yo, Greg, good to see you back. And Sad just said, oh, it is him. It is indeed. Yeah, Joe, if you're in the chat, man, let me know. Pop in. So Joe Klipfel, I believe I pronounced that completely wrong. Is the designer of what I'm about to feature today. Joe has done a lot of small footprint games, small footprint versions of larger games. He also is one of the, I think, the lead designer, the only designer, the lead designer of the design team. I don't know, for the Dragons of Etchenstone. I believe I said that right. For once, that is was just crowdfunded through Chip Theory Games. He has done. Again, I think he did another like mini version of Mage Knight. I know he did a Pocket Watch. He did a Seta Watch. He did Pocket Watch, which is like the small footprint version of that. So very cool things that he does. And I've only played two. I've played the Pocket Watch, and now I've played Pocket Paladin. It's pretty wild to take these big games and kind of how do you crystallize. Take the ideas, crystallize them into new mechanics, but still kind of get the same feel. And he's succeeded. I actually might sell all of my Seta Watch stuff and just keep Pocket Watch, to be honest. I have thoughts about that. We can get back to that. But, Pocket Paladin is not going to replace Mage Knight, but indeed will be a travel buddy, I think, for a long time to come. So, Tabletop Troubadour says, I think it's a deep fake. And Galoom says, did he do the pocket version of Eldritch Horror? I can speak. Yeah, you're glad to know my speaking problems have not disappeared in the last 7 months. I don't know. If you go on BGG and go to his name, you can see all of his credits. I am zoomed in really close. I mean, look how I have big hands anyway. But again, this is tiny. This is literally a penny sleeve. And the entirety of this game fits in one penny sleeve. I'll stop flipping that because I know it's messing with the light because, I always have that professional setup that you've come to know and love. Let me give you some quick updates. Let's make this about me, people. So yes, I don't know how much I'll be streaming, but I'm super excited to be able to stream today. The elephants in the room, my health is great. I did have a second heart surgery to kind of tune some things up, but everything's totally good there, so happy to report that is all done. At least that chapter is done for now. I did withdraw from my campaign, but still did a lot of Philadelphia politics for the last few months, and there will be more updates about that in the future. That chapter ended, but the book is not over. So the book is still being written. I'll say that. So that's been good. And Sarah and I missed his playthroughs, as you will remember. We did bring in another child. So we have a 16-year-old who has moved in, so we're super excited to get to be getting to know her, and that's been a fun bit of adventure. So I've been super busy. Obviously, streaming was never far from my mind and heart, but just unfortunately was not going to happen. Silver Fierce is great to hear. Yes, sir. All right, now my eyesight is still kind of messed up after 2 surgeries. It's just a thing that happens, and lights kind of trigger it. So, obviously streaming when I have lights everywhere isn't the easiest, but hopefully I will still be able to get through all of this without issue. But if I suddenly have to end, remember, I told you here first. All right, Pocket Paladin. So let me open this thing up. We have our this thing kind of holds everything together in the penny sleeve. It also gives you kind of scenarios to go along with Pocket Paladin. I have not explored these scenarios. They look fine. They look cool. I will see. They definitely increase the difficulty, will increase the game length, if I read the rules correctly. So it's just another way to provide some variety in your little pocket game here. So that's going to go over there. We have 4, I repeat, 4 little rule sheets. They're super cool. There is a full rule book, which you will absolutely need to either get the print version. Joe was kind enough to send me, again, this is a review copy. He sent me 2 review copies, and he did send me a printed version of the rule book. You will definitely need it. You will not be able to learn all this game and know all the rules from just these cards. These cards are indeed helpful once you have read the rule book, but you will need to have that rule book, especially if you want to know how to use this thing. So I would just tell you that, but I think there's a version you could find online, and it's probably linked on BGG and all of that stuff. So these 4 cards I'll just put up here, and I will probably refer to them at least once, if not a lot more. Now, you have 16 enemies in this game. There are 2 kinds. You have the red enemies, which are kind of like your rampaging orcs, kind of. I mean, they're monsters. They're different sorts. I mean, some are a lot tougher than others for sure. So it's a whole bunch of monsters. And then you have your more like Mage Tower-ish monsters over here. One thing I think this game could benefit from, and I did email Joe about it, but we emailed back a lot, so he might have missed it. But I think a big, at least available for print, a big sheet with a blown up version of the artwork and then the name of the monsters, because Sad's going to be upset to know that I will not be able to misname any of these because I genuinely don't know what their names are. So it's just a thing. So there are 16 monsters. The art's really tiny, and the abilities on them are very tiny as well. It did take me several plays before I got my head wrapped around what all the abilities were. Some of the art makes it hard to see all the abilities, so like a minor nitpicks. I'm just kind of letting people know like when you get this, because there's no reason not to. There are, it might take a little bit to kind of understand what each of the enemies does. I've now played this enough that I don't think I'll make any mistakes, at least of what the abilities are. So we have these guys now. It says stack them. I'm not gonna be bothered with stacking these suckers. I'm just gonna put them in a line and just not look at what's coming up next, because you could really game this if you wanted, but it's just there. So I'm gonna have these all in a line. There are the 8 red monsters up top, and we have the 8 purple monsters. Now, one of the things, wait, that's over there. Cool. This and this, great. On the back of these monsters is more stuff. Both your skills and your allies are on the back of these monsters, and we will kind of get to that as we get further into setup. You have this card. This card is double-sided. There is the side for the purple. I know it's coming off blue on camera. Sorry about that. I will I'll color correct, within the next 3 years, I promise. So that's a purple flag there. And then we have the red flag, which comes off red. So that's helpful. The game recommends you start with the red. I've played a lot more with the red. I might find purple a little bit easier, but I'll just totally randomize who I start with today. I'll probably play. The plan is to play 2 games here. So 1, 2, 3, I'll play with the red. 4, 5, 6, I'll play. You know what? Red's more basic. Let me start with the red. I think that makes more sense. Actually, I'm vetoing myself. So we're gonna have the red, and then we're gonna take this card over here, which is absolutely the most important card of the game. We're going to have this over here, and you want to have that flag correspond. That doesn't, so we're going to flip this over. Like so. Now, what is this card? This card is your actions. There are no decks of cards, so you won't have me count to 16. I know you're all upset. But what this card does, it tells you what you could do on any turn. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 boxes on both sides, depending on, again, what paladin you are playing as. And we have this little thing here. It's actually the bigger of the circles, and that goes there. That's where your starting is. You start there because there's a star there. Star, start, it all goes together. It makes sense. At the beginning of the game, you only have access to, you can only move this along the yellow arrows. As you level up, which you'll be able to do over here, and we'll get to that, you'll have access to the white arrows, and then finally, if you level up enough, you will have access to the green arrows. So the green arrows are only these 2 boxes up here, which the 2 I've just covered. But they are super strong abilities that you were going to want by the time you get to the equivalent of the city. And the white arrows add 2 boxes. So you start with 5 boxes. When you level up to white, you get 2 more boxes, and when you level up to green, you get all the boxes on the card. And then the arrows, some arrows are two-sided, or I'm sorry, are multi-directional. Some arrows are just unidirectional, so you have to really pay attention. You will want to play a couple of games, and then you start to figure out the patterns that are the most helpful depending on the mage that you are playing with. There are certain patterns that are really helpful for getting influence, certain patterns that are really helpful for getting movement, etc., and then finding the attack and defense patterns that you need, especially when you get to that city, is going to be of, paramount importance to be able to win this game. Now, you'll notice that the boxes have a top and a bottom. The top of the box, anyone who's played Mage Knight a lot, this is super obvious. The top of the box, you have access if you jump on it. If you want to get to the bottom of the box, when you move onto it, you also have to spend a corresponding mana. Mana, yes, mana. Look at that. We have these 3 things here. I'm going to actually move these over. They will keep track of your mana. Now, there are 3 kinds of mana. There are club mana, there are diamond mana, and I guess there is club mana, there is diamond mana, and there is spade mana. For the red paladin, I have found club mana to be of the most important. Now, you can have up to 5 of each kind of mana. There are various ways to get mana, and we will talk about that as we play. Now, you can have up to 5. You start with 0, and you will absolutely need as much mana as you can get by the time you get to the city. Over here, what do we have? So I'm actually going to I will put a card over this because the problem is you play this back to back. You're like, I'm going to do that ability. It's a wait, dummy, you don't have access to that ability yet. So I'll just kind of keep this. Let me do it this way. That will work. All right. There is a source. We'll talk about that when we start getting into play, and I'm probably going to want to move these over because I made the screen too close. We'll do this. So we have the 8, and all right, cool. Over here we have your card, and here's our little paladin. Let's set up the board randomly. So again, there are 2 cards to show you like the terrain that you're going on. This is the game. It's all on here unless you're playing with this expansion. All right. So on the back of both of these cards, there is, or on the one side of both of these cards is what is the front, what is the back. On one side of both of these cards, you actually have your city. You have the red city, you have the purple city. The red city, guess what, has red enemies. The purple city has purple enemies. Yes, we've come a long way. All right. Now, in the beginning of the game, both of these cards are going to be flipped down. What card goes on top, what card goes on the bottom is supposed to be random. I think that the purple city is one hell of a bunch easier than the red city, just based on how the terrain is set up. But we can kind of talk about that. I will play both if I do get through 2 playthroughs today. So let me set this up randomly. So this will be, yeah, I'll do the red city on the bottom for 1, 2, 3. The purple city on the bottom, and again, but it's on the bottom. But at some point, it's whatever's down here will flip up to for the end game by the time we get there, because essentially you have to move through the bottom card, through the top card, and then the bottom card becomes the new top card. Is how that's going to work. So I'm going to roll a die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, I rolled a 4, 5, 6. So we're going to do the purple city first, which is probably good, and then this is going to go up there. So this is going to set up just like this. All right, that is our little world that we have to travail. The our paladin's going to go on any one of the 3 half hexes at the bottom, and then we are going to set up our initial monsters. Wherever you see one of the red banners, you put a red monster. Again, I'm just random. I shuffle these to begin. I'm just going in order, left to right, top to bottom. So wherever you see a red banner, we're getting one of these. Wherever you see a purple banner, we get one of these. We do not populate the mage towers or the keeps until we get adjacent. And there's a bunch of terrain things I'm going to talk to. Again, this is like literally Mage Knight in your pocket, but it is extremely, the rule book is, if you're going in expecting, oh, I can play this because I know how to play Mage Knight. No. You definitely need to read the rules. There is a lot of additional stuff that Joe put into this. All right. I got some comments. Galom, I'm sorry, man. I'm butchering names because that's what I do. Says Mr. Pages. I probably butchered that too. Says, wow, busy then. Brian says, way to go. That's difficult, but good for you. Brian says, did you finish the upstairs renovation? I did. It's amazing. Yeah, we've been living up there for a while. Raphael says, hi, Greg. I've been following you for years. I'm a big fan of Maze Night, and I really like your contents. Hopefully you will post more of them. Sorry for my English from Italy. Your English is amazing. Sajid says, I actually have to pack as I am traveling in 30 minutes, but hey, YouTube records this for us. Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by. Joachim, I'm sorry. Interesting to hear how you will find this mini Mage Night. And Greg says, love the Oreo stuff in the background too. Sitting here in beautiful Beemore right now. Haha. Man, Greg, what is going on with that team? And when will Mike Elias be fired? That's all I have to ask. Jonathan definitely gives great Mage Night vibes. Yeah. All right. So here's our Paladin card. So this is going to keep track of a bunch of things for us. First, it's going to keep track of our health. Now we have this little red marker is black on the other side. I do think that, I know it would be less pocket. It wouldn't fit in a penny sleeve. But if you're going to play this, having some cubes handy might be helpful. That you can just take from any other game that has extra cubes. But yeah, so this thing is black on one side, red on the other. That is your health. Then we have this slightly bigger circle. That's going to go on your turn. You have exactly, well, you can have 6 turns in a round, no more. You could definitely have less, and we'll talk about that. And then we have this thing. We'll go, our starting level is level 1. And then we have this thing that goes up here. It tells us whether it's day or a night. Now, we are going to be playing on hard difficulty, which we're going to have to, in 4 rounds, we're going to try to defeat the city. Normal difficulty, and the city for me is going to be 3. Oh, what are they called? They're called something. 3 tower enemies. Yes. So there are tower enemies. Don't confuse that with mage tower. And then there are regular enemies. In normal difficulty, you have to beat 3 tower enemies, and I'll explain what that means in a second. I'm playing on hard difficulty, and I think normal difficulty is 3 tower enemies in 4 rounds. Easy, you can give yourself 5, 6 rounds, whatever you want to do. I'm playing on hard, which is 3 tower enemies and a regular enemy in 4 rounds. That extra regular enemy does really jack up the difficulty. This is very finely tuned. I will probably not win both of these games. Things can go awry in many ways in this game, but it's very short, so it'll be easy to kind of run back. All right. There are going to be, so I said that, so that's going to be, again, turn, health, level, round, right? Day and night rules are pretty similar to your Maze Night rules. Terrain allotments will change. There is one of these things has all the terrain on there. There you go. So that's super helpful as far as keeping track of what the movement costs are. And then there is, again, a bunch of enemy abilities, which we will talk about. So, what was I saying? So, okay, on the left side, you can put any wounded allies, and on the right side, you could put any exhausted allies, and then on the bottom, you could put and exhausted skills. And the bottom, you'll have skills, and on the top, you're going to put your allies. All right. So, speaking of skills and allies, let's set up our offer. The offer for your allies and your skills is the same offer. It's for any Maze Knight players, not surprising. There's going to be 3 things in the offer. Now, to set the offer, once you have the initial setup done, you're going to take 3 of these tokens. Now, you can pick any combination of tokens as long as there's never more than one more of one than the other, right? So you got to keep them somewhat even. So right now, since I have 7 purple enemies here and 5 red, I have to, this is why I kind of keep this out like this, because if you have them in stacks, like having to count them down can be super annoying, and it's not always easy to keep track, because as you get allies and skills, it's not always easy to know like what has, what there's more of in the thing. So if you have it laid out like this, you'll always be able to easily count how many are there, right? So since I have 7 and 5, I have to take a purple. Since I have 7 and 5, I have to take a purple. And since I have 5 and 5, I can now take either one. I'm still going to take a purple. I find the purple skills a little bit better to start the game if I get what I want, which apparently at this point I did not, which is fine. So here are all the options. So again, the top is going to be your ally. Allies have an ally cost. Again, it's super, super tiny. So I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to try it. Yeah. Oh, look at that. It's not terrible. So so there's that middle bar. You'll see a number 2 there. That's how much influence this ally costs to recruit. You can see the art could definitely benefit from having a sheet that blows it up, because I can't really tell what's going on there. But my eyesight also sucks right now, so maybe not helpful. You see the ability. Now the ability there is 3 magic defense. All right. Purple enemies always attack with a magic attack. Red enemies always attack with a physical attack. I know that's defense because A, there's a very, 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 very faint shield behind it. That's not the most helpful for me because my eyesight can barely make it out. However, defense leans to the left, attack leans to the right. That's super helpful. And also that line is fuzzier. Physical attack or defense is more of a shield. It is more of a sword, I should say, and magic is more of a lightning bolt. Sometimes a sword and the lightning bolt gets a little fuzzy for me to see as well, but generally the purple or the red, the magic always has a purple background, physical always has a red background. So there's enough going on that I can generally see what's going on pretty quickly. My first couple of games, not so much. It took some time to figure all that out. All right, so this is a magic defense of a 3, and that dude has 3 health as an ally. Now that could be super helpful in taking and absorbing damage for you and wounding allies, but you could heal them, and we could talk about all that. This ally here costs 4. It has 3 magic attack, and it has 3 health. This guy here costs 5 influence to recruit, has 3 physical ranged attack, which can be super helpful, and it also has 3 health. Now, I said all the allies just to tell you what's there. However, as level 1 Red Paladin, we actually start the game with a skill. So we're going to take a skill. What are these skills? Well, this skill here is can be super useful. I'm actually going to put these here. All right, I want the clubs up top. If I took this skill once a round, I could exhaust this skill to gain 1 diamond magic, and I can move this along here without counting as one of my activations for a turn, which kind of goes back to what I should have said earlier, or something I should have said earlier, is that you can activate 3 abilities a turn. Right, and then you could add ally abilities, skills, whatever, but you could only move this thing 3 times a turn. Now I can move it and not take what I get, but obviously that's not very efficient. I can move it and take 1 of like a physical attack, physical block. That's going to feel very Mage Knight-y, so that's going to make a lot of sense. 1 influence, whatever. But having a skill like this can be useful because, like, oh, I really need to get over here, but I only have 1 ability left. Well, I could just exhaust that. I get a mana, and then I could move that there, and that doesn't count against my 3 abilities for a turn. The problem with this for me is twofold. I don't really need that much diamond mana as the red paladin. Again, I'm very heavy on it's club, spade, diamond. So diamond's not great for me. But for the purple paladin, that actually could be super helpful to start the game, but not great. The purple paladin also doesn't start with a skill, which is something we'll get to in the second round if we can get there. In the second playthrough if we get there. All right, this skill says that I can move into mountains, which are normally impassable, but I can move into mountains for 2 movement. If I end my turn in a mountain, I get a black mana. Like, I don't actually hate this. Kind of looking at this board right now. He's going to suck. Hold on 1 sec. Coughing fit income. We're good. Moving into that mountain to get around that guy might be indeed beneficial. But I think too dumb for that. Oh, because and we'll talk about. There's reasons why that enemy scares me. But I think I'll be okay. Yeah, I think I'll be okay. We're not going to worry about being able to move through the mountain. Now this one gets super interesting. If there's one thing in this that is going to take you a little bit to wrap your head around, it is this idea of precision. All right, so I'm talking to if you have not played Mage Knight, God bless you, like in trying to learn this game because it would be a lot harder. But in some ways, having played Mage Knight as much as I have, like I did find some parts of this a hindrance because there are certain things that you feel a little bit more. The system's a little more free in a lot of ways, and we'll talk about that. All right. So if I take this skill once a round, I could exhaust this. Now you could like kind of nestle these things under there, but you're using them so much, I find that annoying. You just know that the only thing that matters once you take this as a skill is the skill. Do not look at the ally stuff at all. It doesn't matter. Allies are up here, right? So this skill would allow me to give myself precision for a turn. All right, so it gives it gives me all my range attacks precision. Now, why would I need precision? Well, you need precision in 2 ways. All right, the easiest and most obvious way is if a enemy has the flying ability, which lo and behold, this enemy right here is a flyer. Look at that, he's super cool. And I knocked this from somewhere. I knocked that from here. All right. This really isn't that finicky. It just fat fingering like crazy. All right, the fat fingering. It's a term of art. So the flying ability, an enemy with flying cannot be attacked in ranged unless your attacks have precision. Lo and behold, we can get precision pretty easily. A tower enemy cannot be attacked in ranged unless your attack has precision. It doesn't say this in a rule book, but I'm assuming a tower enemy with ranged can be attacked in ranged as long as your attack has precision. If a tower enemy is fortified, that's just like Mage Knight, double fortified, cannot be attacked in range, period. But precision can be super helpful. There is a way that we could get precision as a ability on our board here, but to do that we would have to go here. The only way we could do that on our ability chart here is to go there and spend a diamond mana, which would give our attacks precision. However, it also takes one of our abilities and it costs the mana, so not always the easiest thing to set up just right. So this enemy being here, having precision can be super helpful. It's not my favorite skill in the game, but I'm going to take this skill. Again, there's 16 skills, so be unlikely to get my favorite right off the bat. There are some that I think are more helpful in certain games, but because of this specific setup, I think this skill is absolutely a very nice thing for me to start the game with, because I can kill that guy with having to worry about taking any wounds. Taking wounds, I'm not going to be as liberal in taking wounds in this game as I am in most games on Mage Knight, and here's why. When you take a wound, again, it's the same thing. My armor starts at a 2, goes to a 3 pretty quickly. As you take wounds, for every wound you take, you have to move on this chart. If you ever get to the leftmost space, not beyond it, if you get to it, you're dead. This is how much health you have remaining. How many turns you can take it around depends on where your wound marker is. Right now, I would still be able to do 6 turns this round. However, if I had one more wound here, well, lo and behold, I can't get to the 6th turn marker. If I'm ever in a turn and I take wounds that go past where my turn marker is, I have to take an additional wound. Right? It's a pretty clever system. You are going to want to heal up and get yourself up to almost max health at all times, because lo and behold, it's pretty important. All right, I think we should just start playing. One thing I should let me talk about this. So tower enemies. So tower, again, that's a keep. That's a mage. So keep tower, mage tower. It's easier to think about it that way. Tower enemies function. They have the same abilities as regular enemies. They say the same ability. The abilities on them are their abilities. And I'll explain all the abilities as we face the different monsters. But tower enemies have double the attack and double the health, so it's pretty nasty. Brian says I use my phone camera and the macro lens to see small things like that. And then Jeremy says looks like an 8-bit game, putty or tape. Yeah, I'm sure my camera is not doing it total justice either. Again, I have the setup I have, and it is what it is. The art, I mean, again, it's, for as small as this is, it's wildly impressive. I just think a couple of extra printable aids could really help people out, especially if you, like me, you wish these things had names and art that you could totally discern what the heck was happening, and things like that. But I digress. So that I start the game with a skill because I'm the red paladin. I'm going to take that skill. Now my offer only has 2 things. The offer will not refill until the end of the round. So let's. I think Jeremy was saying putty or tape to keep this card there. That wouldn't work, dude, because we have to flip this at some point, and it would be. I mean, I guess it would work, but then you'd have to take it off pretty quickly in the game. So here we go. So my first turn, first, and now we have this. There is a source. The source is this thing. It is double-sided, and it's a. Maybe I understand the mechanic. I appreciate it. I find it can be super punishing, because sometimes, like, if I roll a diamond, that's just gonna be a useless thing for me in the game. Now I did start on this half hex here, which is a crystal field. So if I end my turn there, I can get a mana of my choice at the end, which is super nice. Not to be confused with this hex here. That is like a healing field. So if you end your turn there, you can get 1 point of healing. But it's also a desert. Getting through that's gonna suck. But lo and behold, we're gonna have to do that. So I'm gonna flip this, and I'm gonna hope that I get myself a club. So you just what's pointing straight up. And that's a spade. So I did not get a club. I got myself un spado, which is super not great. Now, if an enemy has flying, your melee attacks against it are halved in the melee phase, but your range attacks will come in at full. But I'm really trying to kill this guy in the range phase, because now that's the point of having this precision token, And it is what it is. Now this thing up here has physical resistance, so that's going to be super annoying. So I'm just kind of looking ahead. So I don't want to take 2 wounds. I could take 2 wounds. I need the black. The whole point of the precision here was to try to kill this guy without taking any wounds. He doesn't have any resistances either, but again, my non-range attacks are going to be halved. The problem is I rolled again. This is where this mana thing can be so vicious if you just get the wrong thing to start. So I don't really want to do anything on this first turn. So instead, move there. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to just move this without doing anything, and I guess I could move forward to try to get a different mana. That almost makes a little bit of, actually I'm going to want that move forward in a second, so I'm not going to worry about that. So I'm going to move this ability and not do anything. I'm going to just forgo my next 2 abilities, and I ended my turn on this crystal place right there. So I'm going to give myself one club magic, because we love club magic. All right, we go to turn 2. Now, I have 3 abilities again. I'm going to do my first ability to move this up here. Now that says move 2 at the top or 4 influence if I spent a spade. Obviously don't want influence, so I'm going to get the 2 move. And I'm going to, everything to attack, you can't attack adjacent enemies. You have to move into the space. So I'm going to move into here. I'm attacking this guy. This guy is like a giant turtle looking thing. He has flying. He's a monster enemy, so he has physical attack. He has 3 health, and then he has this 3 gold. If you flip it over, it says 5. Tower enemies, when you defeat, give you the higher number, so you could put them into your supply over here like that. But regular enemies just give you the lower number. So my second ability, well, I'm going to use this skill that's done for the round now. It gives me my attack precision, and I'm going to go into here, and I'm going to use my black mana to give myself 3 ranged attack, and that 3 ranged attack is going to be enough to kill our friend Mr. Turtle. So he's going to come over here as 3 gold. So I've done 2 abilities. Now, unlike Mage Knight, where all your leveling up, end of turn effects has to happen, at this point, you could do any of that stuff at any point as long as it's not in the middle of another ability. So I still have 1 ability left. I'm going to now spend this 3 gold to get myself up to level 2, because that's the cost to level up. To get to level 3, I need 5 gold, right? So the 3 gold, though, is enough to get me level up. So I'm going to put this at the end of the line over here. And I'm going to get myself a level up. Now at level 2, I now unlock 1 ally slot. So when I get to a place where I can recruit allies, indeed, I will recruit an ally. Yeah, dude, that dude's gonna, I'm not even sure I'm gonna have, well, if I roll 2, if I roll a black, I'll be good. If I roll a red, yeah, the bottom of this one to get the enemies you're facing can be really hard. If I don't get the mana I want, I have a way of getting to that house, which could be pretty gross. It's 5 to get into there. So there's like a little thing there, so I can actually move through, what do they call it? A tunnel. So there's a tunnel there, but I might have to face an enemy. But I think I'm going to have to potentially risk it, because I just don't think I'm going to be able to face that dude very easily. Because he has physical resistance, I'm going to need 6 attack, plus it's going to be 3 move to get in. I have nothing to give me that many abilities. I don't have an ally yet, so I think I just go through the tunnel, take any wounds that may come. He's attacking me with a 6, so it's only 2 wounds. I'm not worried about the 2 wounds. That still gives me 6 6 turns for the round, but having 6 physical or having 3 magic attack. Well, I guess if I rolled that, I would be good. So if I had 3 magic attack, so if I rolled, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can take him down because that would be 4 XP. All right, we'll see if I can take that. So I'm gonna forgo my 3rd turn, my 3rd ability, and I'm gonna hope because I can move 4, but I need to get 5 to move into that desert. So I'm gonna hope I just roll really well here. And if I somehow roll, no, I'm not even rolling right now. Woof. Because I'm gonna need either the magic attack. I have no mana. I'm trying to think if there's a way I can move 3 and somehow kill that guy, taking 2 wounds on the same turn. I just don't think I can, unless I stayed down here for a 2nd turn and gave myself another mana. But wolf, that's crazy. That would be crazy. It's like 2 whole turns. Nah, I think I want to go by. This enemy's fortified. I already used my precision. They're magic resistant, so it makes that guy only so useful. Yeah, I am going to use this on this turn. I'm going to use my 3rd ability, spend the spade, and I'm going to go into this hills right here. All right, end of story. So end of the turn, I'm going to re-roll the mana. It is a spade or a diamond. That could be interesting. All right, and then we go to the 3rd turn. On my 3rd turn, now I'm going to use this tunnel. All right, I think that's the best bet. I'm just going to avoid this guy because there's no way I'm going to be able to move in and kill him on the same turn. I don't have access to what I need to do that. Now, interestingly enough, if I had this ally, I could easily kill him because that's 3 magic attack, but there's no place for me to recruit an ally where I am. So tunnels, move from hex at tunnel entrance to hex at tunnel exit, spend X movement where X is the movement cost of X move into, immediately fight a random tower enemy. So we'll see how this goes. I'm just gonna hopefully not take too many wounds, but I'm not expecting this to go well. We'll be super clear about that. I really do want to get to level 3 ASAP, but I was going to have to find another way to do it. So if I can 4, 3, we'll see if I can get it done this round. All right, so I'm going to it's probably going to end poorly, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do move 2, move 3. So I move through this tunnel, and now I have to roll this. So remember that this is on spade and diamond, but I'm rolling it to see what happens. All right, I rolled spade and black. So since I rolled, I use a crystal on the left, and spade says I give a monster tower enemy. All right, so I'm going to go back to spade and diamond, and I'm going to get a monster tower enemy, and I'm facing them now in the tunnel. Woof, that's worst case scenario. That is probably game end. So, it's game over. That's literally game over. That's the worst roll I could have gotten. Because I can't defeat him. I can't block him. Because he's attacking me with an 8. And he has poison, so that's double damage. So that's 16 points of damage. And then since I'm going to try to keep going, he's going to give me another 16 points of damage. Wait, how was it? But take ignoring enemy ability. So he'll give me 16 points of damage and then 8 points of damage. So that's 24 points of damage. I'd be taking 8 wounds, and then the round would be over. Unless I could get 4 influence. Actually, let me have done this. I moved 2, 3. I wanted access to either one of these anyway, so that would have made more sense. So I had 3 points of movement that way. He's going to give me 16 points of damage because I can't block him or defeat him. So that's 16 points of damage, just 5 wounds. Oh God. Yeah, that's 6 wounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then since I can't defeat him, since I'm just going to keep going, I get 8 more points of damage, which is 3 wounds. And then it says I pass. Oh yeah, I'm dead. That's ridiculous. All right. not the. Sorry, Joe. That was not the greatest way to show that off. Yeah, man. Early on. That was just a rough enemy. I mean, it's a gamble. If I rolled a black, I don't face anyone. If I rolled a purple, I would have faced this guy, which would have been just 3 wounds, just 6 wounds, which I could have dealt with because then I could have spent 4 influence to heal 2. So instead of getting just 6 wounds, I literally got 10 wounds because I faced the wrong enemy. And of course, I faced the guy with poison. So tower enemies are brutal, but I was hoping if I took 6 wounds, then I healed 2. I could have bought some mana. I could have been set up to beat that guy. So unfortunately, that was a pretty bad run through, and we're just gonna reset that and pretend that never happened. So let me randomize these enemies. That was not. Yeah, I mean the pace you have to keep to win on hard is pretty serious. So there was definitely me like kind of forcing the issue a little bit, but it's easy enough to reset that I'm not going to be too upset about it. But like, yeah, woof, that was a bad sequence of events. I also I didn't love my starting skills. I didn't love my starting roll. I could have just wasted another turn in the very beginning to get myself 2 crystals, but that never feels great. But probably was the right move there. I will say, so I do think this is the easier setup of terrain, but your start is going to be a little harder depending on the enemies you're facing. So we have this enemy. I'm just repopulating. We're doing a full reset here. Of course, I got the one monster tower enemy with poison. Like, you don't normally, and then like again, the tunnel's the only time you get double attacked like that. So again, I was taking 16. That math is terrible when your armor is 3 because again, it's not efficient at all. I don't have an ally yet. Don't have access to an ally till I get there. So I was hoping to get there. I could do some healing. If I just camped out there and did influence stuff for the next of the turn, I could have gotten myself some allies. I could have given myself some. You can buy mana at the village. So there's a bunch of stuff that I was hoping to do at that village that obviously was just not able to get to. So. This too shall pass. So we're going to take this. Oh, God, these are terrible. Woof. That's where I remember I was saying, oh, I could go on that mountain. That might be helpful. That probably was, I maybe took the wrong skill because I could have just taken wounds. I could have taken wounds from the turtle. I would have taken 2 wounds. I could have ended my move there, gotten a heal, and then I could have just ended on a mountain, gotten a mana. But alas, it was not meant to be. So, what are we trying to do here? I don't love any of these. Again, I could end on a thing. This enemy is not as bad, although he does have 5 health. So that could be a thing. These are just bad skills to start this game. Really bad. He attacks with a 2. Can I get 5 attack? He's got that trap nonsense. All right, I'll take this, and we'll hopefully be able to defeat both of these monsters there. This one's only a 2, that's a 3. But they're not, I think I should be able to take him down for 1. but I won't have the block. He might cost me a turn because he's got a pretty gnarly ability. Did I reroll this? I don't know if I rerolled this or not. I don't know. It's on diamond, and I hate diamond. I probably would have bitched if it was on diamond. All right, so that's better. It's a club. So first turn, I'm gonna get to moving again. So this enemy here has flying, so I can't attack him in the range phase unless I have precision. And melee attacks have to be ranged if they're going to work in melee at full value. Otherwise, non-ranged attacks are halved. So I'm going to push 1, 2. Wait, do I want to do that? No, I'm going to need this ability for that guy. So I'm going to go 1, 2. I'm moving in. So I did a base move 1, base move 2, a base move 1 plus base move 1 for move 2, and I'm going to take 2 wounds, and then I'm going to spend in the melee phase this mana, get range attack 3. Because he's flying, I needed the range attack to be efficient, and we've killed him. He gives me 2 gold. We're going to reset this. The skill I took will give me a black mana and move the thing once, so that could be super helpful. We go to turn 2. On turn 2, I'm going to... Oh, man, I'm going to be stuck on move again. I've just gotten 2 really gnarly enemies in that spot both games, and it's not great. I get the mana, get the heal. It didn't level up, but I think that'll be good. All right, hopefully this works out. So I'm going to move 4, 5. I'm going to end my turn here. I got removed the 4 by using that mana. That heals 1 because I ended in that crystal garden thing. And I'm going to roll this. I want it to be a spade again. And it's slightly pointing to the left from my view. So indeed, that is a spade. That's super helpful. And now we'll be able to go forward for turn 3. Turn 3, I'm going to move in to here. This enemy attacks with a power of 3. I take 2 wounds, and my armor is still only a 2, and he also has a trap ability. The trap ability is when not blocked, I lose a turn for the round. I really didn't have another choice. So it's either I lose a turn down here and getting a mana, or I just lose a turn for the round when I attack, when I get attacked by him, which is fine. So I have now 2 more abilities. So I use only 1 ability to move in. I'm going to use this thing to exhaust my skill to give me a black mana, and I could move this along if I wanted to. I really don't want to, because now I'm going to use this second ability to give me it's either a physical block 4 or a physical attack 4 using that mana, and then I could go back to here. So I use that mana to go in, and I'm going to go here. That gives me a physical attack, just a basic physical attack 1. So that's physical attack 5, which kills this guy. He's got 3 gold here. I'm going to spend that gold to level up, and I still have this 2 gold in reserve for my next level up. All right, but I used the skill that's now exhausted. It did cost me 2 turns, because then it was 1 turn to kill the first guy, 1 turn to move there, 1 turn to move in there, and I lost a turn in the way that he attacked me. We'll see if I can't go get a heal 1 to get my full complement of 6 rounds. Now, I did move here, and since it's day, a Mage Tower Garrison would indeed come here. This one's pretty nasty. There's a lot going on. It has the poison to its attack. Now, poison does work different. I should have explained this in the last playthrough, which lasted 1 round, 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns. I don't know. Poison, instead of doing you take a wound, you take a second. Poison just says you double the amount of damage, or you take a second to your discard pile. The poison, you double the amount of damage that an attack does. This guy does have magic resistance, He's a tower enemy, so he would be 6 gold if I defeated him. Though that's going to be a tall order at this point in the game. So I think I'm just going to kind of let him be, because again, he does have 8 health because he's a tower enemy. So everything is doubled for the tower enemies. All right. Hopefully I can move into here on this next turn and get a quick heal. That would be super helpful. It might not be possible, but I think I'll set up okay for the next round. So that we're going into our 5th turn. I'm rolling this again. It's another spade, so that's super lucky. So let's make this happen. I'm going to move 2, move 6 with the spade again. So I've used that ability with the spade 3 times in a row. So that gives me 6 movements. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, you don't provoke enemy attacks like you do in Mage Knight. So I can go right next to this orc or this whatever fire demon thing. I don't know. He'll be pretty easy to kill when I want to next round. And then for my last ability, I'm moving it to here, which gives me 2 influence. I'm going to spend that 2 influence to get 1 point of heal. I go to my 6th turn. I'm going to have to spend this again. I would actually like a spade one more time. Nope, this time I got a club. I can't complain about that. I was super lucky so far with my my rolling there. So do I want either of these enemies? So I really want that ally, but there's no way I'm getting the 7 points of influence. I don't hate the 3 magic attack here. It would help me just wipe out that guy. That is nice. I also could just get 2 mana. And yeah, when I kill him, I'll be able to level up again, which is super helpful. All right, let me do this. I will spend 1 for 1 point of influence, 2 for a second point of influence, and then I'll do the base thing there, which gives me 4 points of influence, which will let me recruit this ally. But that indeed is the end of the round. So we go to the first night round. This goes back here. My skill resets. My ally was never used, so he's not exhausted. And then we have to reset the offer. So this comes over here. We don't have to do anything else here. And then again, we have 6 and 4. So these 2 guys become our allies / skills. And then I could choose red or purple. I'll use a purple enemy and go down here. That skill is awesome. That makes me happy. This guy is interesting. He gives you a bunch of influence if you recruit him. Not super helpful. Again, I only have 1 ally slot, so I can't hold any more allies at this point. But I think we'll be okay. All right, what's going on? Brian says, whoops. Joe says you can retreat, not take double damage. Yeah, I think that playthrough was toast, man. I took 6 wounds. I was gonna be back. So Joe, thanks for being here, man. I was looking at the chat for a while. Yeah, I just think that playthrough was gonna be a lost cause. Yeah, I could. What Joe was saying, just for the rules, if I decided to lose that combat and then retreated, I don't take the additional 8 points of damage. But then that leaves me here with really nowhere to go, and my timing would have been thrown off. So I don't think my setup and my abilities would have allowed me to recover from that. Not with my goal of trying to win on hard. Jonathan says, ouch. James Morgan, hello. First time seeing your channel. Mage Knight in your pants caught my attention. Sansa, good to see you back. Are you planning on playing the upcoming Mage Knight expansion? I did back the upcoming, or I pre-ordered the upcoming Mage Knight expansion. I know, why am I blanking? Wolf, that's embarrassing. That dude who's really popular and awesome. I'm totally thinking. Someone have reached out. I can't think of it. British dude reached out to me and said he was going to try to get me a review copy, but then I haven't streamed in so long, I wasn't going to bother with that. So, yes, I did pre-order it. I'm looking forward to getting it for sure. Brian says, welcome, James. Greg's the best. Brian says he does forget to check chat sometimes, though. James, thanks. I play quite a bit solo. How did I not know about this channel? Brian says, not sure, but now that you have found, you have lots of videos to catch up. Yeah, Paul Grogan. Thank you. Thank you, Brian. Catch up on. James, no worries about not checking chat. He's got more important eggs to fry at the moment. Jonathan says, even with Greg's love-hate of expansion bloat, it's hard to imagine he doesn't try it, the new Mage expansion. Joe said, yeah, it would have been tough to come back from it either way. And LB, woof, what's happening? Sylvester says, Paul Grogan. Yeah, Joe, I mean, I I think if you watch my videos, you've seen me restart many a Mage Knight over the years. So not necessarily a bad thing. Oh, one more thing I need to do between the rounds is I need to re-roll this thing, and now it is awesome. It is a spade or a black mana. So that was helpful. Yeah, I mean, look, the gamble I took is that, you know, there's only, again, I'm really not looking up here, so there's only a few enemies that end the game like that. I just happened to pull the one that gave me 16 damage, so that's a thing. The second thing, you know, is that, you know, 1/3 of this spin is going to mean you don't pull anything. So, you know, it was a little bit of a gamble. It felt like what I needed to take based on how those enemies had laid out, and you know, obviously just didn't work, but that's fine. This too shall pass. So I want to get some mana, I want to get some heal, and I want to figure out how I can best defeat this guy, hopefully without taking any wounds. And I have my little ally here, which will help me kill him pretty easily, and then I'll be able to level up, which gives me another skill, and everyone is going to be super happy. I mean, everyone, the whole world. All right, let's figure this out. So I'm going to do this. My first ability gives me 4 influence, and then I'll come down here for 5, and I'll come down here for 6 and 7. And if I move to block 1, block 3. No, he's got that stupid. Yeah, he's got. We'll talk about what that enemy over there. I'm getting ahead of myself. So I have 7 influence to spend. I'm gonna get. I might not even bother with healing right now. I might just get 1. Yeah, I'm gonna get 2 club mana and a spade mana. I'll worry about healing up later. I still have a full complement of 6 turns, and I have a way of defeating that guy without taking any more wounds. So that makes me feel pretty happy. So that's the end of my first turn. We go to turn 2. I can get more black mana from that. Still like having tons of black mana, to be honest. So we're good. I roll that. It is now a black mana or a diamond. That's interesting. I could save this dude, but this dude up here, this dude is physical resistance. So I would want that magic attack. I could potentially use that diamond to give me. I'll save this guy, use it to kill this guy. That makes me a little bit happier, and then I could hopefully show off that mechanic by the end of this round. So what I'm going to do is move 2, gets me in here. And then I'm going to use this skill, which gives me another black mana and advances me. Then my second ability, because remember, I just moved it without triggering it or using one of my abilities. I'm going to move here, use this mana, gives myself precision. I don't even need precision. What am I doing? I don't need precision. I don't need precision because he's not flying or a tower enemy. Never mind. I'm going to move 2, and then my second action, because, you know, let's not make this overly complicated. So I'm actually going to undo the use of that skill. So I'm back to just 2 black mana. I'm going to just use that black mana and range attack 3 to kill him. Right. That's smarter. That guy's physically resistant, so I want that for him. But yeah, this guy's super dead just because of the range attack. Great. So now we have this and this. Now he has an ability that if I wanted to block him, it would be 6 points of block. He also has the wound ability. So if I didn't block him, he would make me wounded, which means at any future combat, I get all the wounds I would normally get plus 1. And to flip this back over is 1 point of heal. Now, I think, Joe can correct me if I'm wrong, you can. There are times where it makes sense to just heal a point of damage before you heal the wound. I think you could do that in that order, but again, Joe can correct me if I'm wrong. Now, I have 2 gold and 3 gold, so that's 5 gold. I'll put those guys back up here. And that's going to get me another level up, which gives me another skill. The skill I'm going to take, and I still have one more ability. Don't forget. Don't forget. I know you want to forget. One more ability, which I will use to take this thing. So this gives me 2 physical block, or 2 movement every turn. This over here would double 1 source of block. And this over here would allow me to use all my attacks as if they are ranged attacks. They're all very, very interesting skills. Ah, man, all attacks as ranged attacks is sick. I really like this. I really like all of them. I like them all. Maybe I don't. Yeah. Right, because then I could just. Is it the rest of the turn? Exhaust to make all your melee attacks range this turn, whether magic or physical. Yeah, I think that's too good. Then I don't have to worry about blocking at all for a while. All right, we're gonna do that. All attacks are ranged for the rest of the turn. Joe says, yeah, totally. Regarding healing the wound before healing, yeah, cool, thanks. So Joe confirmed you can heal the wound before flipping the token, or heal a point of damage before healing the wound, if I'm trying to be super clear. All right, I have one more ability, and I'm tempted to just use that. Yeah, I'll use this. If I use it this turn or next turn, it's not going to really make a difference. So maybe I'll save it, because I can't go in to kill that guy this turn anyway. So I'll just chill there. So that gets me into my 3rd turn. I'm going to re-roll this. Give me a spade. It came over here. It was not a spade. It was a club or a diamond. Oh, you know what I could have done, which actually makes some sense. I will do that. I'm going to use this to get a thing and move this here. And then with my 3rd ability from last turn, I'm going to get the move 2. You have to be pretty min-maxy with this. So sorry for the, I know it's not riveting video, but it's a fun puzzle. And now I'm in turn 3. So turn 1, I spent a bunch of influence to get some mana. Turn 2, I killed this guy. I'm going into turn 3. Again, my first ability last turn was I moved, then I killed him, then I leveled up, then I used my skill, then I did 2 movement, right? So again, you can level up in the middle of a turn, and at times you will absolutely need to. All right, let's figure this out. So now we're in turn 3. I'm going to move 2. Now we're fighting this guy. Now he's got some interesting things. I can turn all my attacks into ranged, right? So that's super cool. I also can. He's got physical resistance, but I can, make it a magic attack. He's got this slow thing, so I can use move points to block. Now, it's not to be confused with cumbersome. I'm not reducing his attack, so it is what it is. Now, you can imagine some of these enemies that are like pretty easy to defeat when they're in the open field get a little harder when they are in a tower where they have double attack and they have fortifications and you have to worry about precision and all that stuff. But I think I move to, and yeah, I'll just make all my attacks ranged because it's super fun. And then we're going to move down here and we're going to use this. That was my second point. That was my second activation. We're going to use that, and then we are going to give me 4 magic ranged attack. He's got physical resistance. Either way, he only has 2 health, so even if it was magic resistance, it's inefficient, but it's still enough to kill him. And that gives me 3 more gold to spend on leveling up. Now, my next level up is going to cost me 6. I'm hoping next turn to show you this storm mechanic, and I'm glad Joe's here because I want to make sure I'm playing this correct. So we're going to turn 4. We're going to reset my mana thing, and it gives me a spade. I like spades. All right, my next turn, I'm going to get as much movement as I can and then spend it as efficiently as I can. All right, which is one of the reasons I really like that movement skill. It's sick with these storms, but I'm going to I'm sorry, I have one more ability in my last turn. I'm just going to move it there to waste it because I want to set up this turn. No, I'm going to move it here to waste it. All right. My first ability on turn 4 is I'm going to go down here and I'm going to get 4 points of movement using that mana from the mana shard, is I think the official word. Then I'm going to go up here for 2 more points of movement. So that's 5 and 6, and that's 7 and 8 points of movement for the turn. It is night. Oh, I'm not going to be able to do it. It's 4 points of movement into that thing at night. Oh, that's super gross. Well, I was going to try to do something exciting for y'all, but this is why we can't have nice things. 4. Oh, wait, I can do it this way. So 4, 5, 6, and I can move back here using this mana. 10. That's 10 points of movement. 5 gets me in. Now I'm in a storm and I have 5 points of movement left. When you enter a storm, on the turn you enter, you can spend excess movement to level up by getting XP. The amount of XP you get is 1 less than the amount of excess movement. So I have 5 points of excess movement. I can use exactly 4 of that to level up by spending it immediately. I already have 3 XP over here, so 3 plus 4 is 7. I'm going to waste 1, but I can level up in the middle of this turn, which gives me another ally slot, which is important because I want to be able to recruit an ally in that house right there. Now, I'm stuck in a storm, however, so before I exit this hex, I have to spend 2 points of movement. Now, you could do the level up thing, if I'm reading the rules right, has to be on the turn you enter. The storm thing, it just has to be done before you leave the hex. And you could, if I had 11 points of movement, I could spend the 2 points of movement to exit the storm and then leave the next turn. That's fine. But you cap, as long as the 2 points is spent before you leave, whether it's on the same turn or the next turn. But again, the storm thing has to be on that turn. You can't enter and the next turn, oh, I'm in a storm now, I'm going to try to level up. I'm assuming I read that right. But Joe, you can let me know if I've messed up any of that. All right, so that worked out. You can see why this mana is so important, but I'm also definitely going to need to replenish my spade mana because I am out. So, but I am now at level 4. It's still night, and I want to get to there and probably just end my turn at the top of this. Probably explore to reveal that. Again, that's 2 points to explore, just like in regular Mage Night. Importantly, when I leveled up the 3rd time, I would have now had access to these 2 things, which is helpful. And it could have, I could have done it this way. So when I moved here, I could have moved there because now I have access to the white. I could have done 4 8, 4, 5, 6, 10 that way using that mana, so I could have saved the mana from here. So I still got the 10 points of movement I needed without spending my mana. Dennis Webber says, "Holy cow, is this print and play?" I think it's available print and play. I know it is available. I think it's Mythwind, something. I put it in the description of the video game. So and the designer is also present, so he hopefully can provide some clarity. I still have my ally here, which I haven't used at all, but that's totally fine. All right. So that was, again, turn 1 was I got some crystals. Turn 2, I killed this guy. Turn 3, I killed this guy. Turn 4, I went in there and I leveled up in the storm. Good times. I was distracted for a minute, but that sounded right with the storm. Great turn. Awesome. Cool. So we're going to go down here to turn 5. We're now going to move into that thing. 1, 2. Great. It's 3 points of movement in. This is 6. This is one of the reasons I want the black mana so much with the red paladin because the 6 influence is a lot. Being able to turn all my attacks ranged makes all these allies a little bit more viable too, which is something I'm just learning. This is what I'm learning in real time, people. For you. Oh, I have to re-roll this. It is a spade or a diamond. So I get 4. All right, so we're gonna get 2 points of movement, 3 points of movement. I'm now into here. And then I'm gonna spend this to get 4 influence. And with that influence, I'm just gonna finally actually 3 points of movement, 5. Yeah, we'll do it this way actually. 2 points of movement, 3 points of movement, 2 points of movement, 3 points of movement, 4, 5 points of movement. So I had 3 to move into the hills, and then 4, 5, I'm gonna actually flip this sucker up, and we're gonna expand our map. Now this is gonna put this dude in my face. So he's pretty nasty. He cannot be fortified. He has 5 health, but he should be pretty easy to take care of, and he'll give me 4 XP. We'll see if I can't get up to 8 XP to get access to the greens before I take on this castle at the end of round 4. Again, this is still round 2. So that was that. So now turn 6. I didn't use the shard at all. Another thing I could have done actually is I could have done 4 points of movement, 2, 6 points of movement. Oh, that's even more efficient. 2, 6 points of movement, and then I'll use this shard to get 4 influence. So I moved in, I explored, I still had 1 more ability, and then I have 4 influence here. I'll just get 1 shard back and 1 point of healing. I re-roll this. That's a spade, and now I have my 6th turn. I'm going to go 1 for 1 influence, 3 influence, and then I'm going to spend this shard to get 9 influence. I'm going to get another point of healing, so I'm back at full health, and then I have 7 points of influence left. I'm going to get 3 shards, so 1, 2, and since I have access to black from there, I'll just get a 3rd spade from here. All right. I'm going to take a quick break. Hold on a sec. It'll be available on PNP Arcade. I just need to get them the files. But coming soon. All right. Give me 1 sec. And we're back. All right, actually, one of the things I want to rethink quickly is if I take one less mana, so I had 9 points of influence, so I took 3 mana, so one of each. Actually, sorry, two. Spent 3 mana. So I took two. I had 9 points of it. I took 2 mana. It was one of these and one of these, and 1 point of healing. I could spend 3 mana to get this guy, which isn't great, but I can turn all my attacks ranged. He's got 4 points of attack. I don't know, so leaning into a block strategy doesn't seem like it makes much sense with this skill here. And again, I had a second ally slot because now I am at level 4, so that actually works out a little better. He's cheap, and it's just, I think, a better use of my mana. So I use all my better use my influence. So instead of spending my last 3 influence on 1 mana, which I may or may not need, just like let me get an ally in case the offer next turn sucks. And if the offer is really great, there's somebody I really want, then I could just get rid of a unit that way. So that is the end. So yeah, you empty your bladder, clear your mind. It's a whole thing. So you heard it here first. End of the round. We're going into our second day. Good pacing so far. Again, there's our little our purple enemy castle is there. This guy comes out, and now we have to re-roll this shard for the beginning of the next round. It is a flat-out diamond, not my faves. And now we have 7 red enemies and only 4 purple enemies. So we're gonna put these guys out and make it 4 and 4. Some interesting skills there for sure. This would give you a 4th ability for 1 turn. This gives you the ability to move this along once per turn, and this again would give you precision once per round. I'm sorry, the extra ability once per round. So extra ability on a turn once per round. This is once per turn. You can move this thing along. All right, so the question is, yeah, I'm glad. Wow, all movement. So I'm glad I recruited that guy while I had the chance. That was a better use of my situation here. I think I am going to spend one more turn just spending some influence, getting some more. This goes all the way back here. Let me get some more crystals, because again, you're going to want a ton of crystals by the end, and then I have a good way to kind of just take care of him pretty easily as we get there. So I just want to end. This will work. So my first ability is I'm going to spend, I do this for 1 influence. I can follow the yellow arrow down here for 2 influence, and then I can just get basic, and I'm going to move in here for 4 influence total. I'm going to take myself 1 black mana and 1 spade. Again, I really don't need a lot of diamonds with the red paladin. We're going to go to turn 2. My first ability, I'm going to move into here. We're attacking this guy now. My second ability, I'm moving up here. I'm using this black mana to get 3 points of ranged attack, and my third ability, I'm going here. I have 6 points of ranged physical attack. It is a purple enemy, but he is not physically resistant. So purple means that he does have a magic attack, but it doesn't say anything about his resistance unless it has a symbol. There is a purple enemy who is physical resistant. There's a red enemy who's magic resistant. So you just got to make sure you're looking at it. When the first few times I played it, I found I was limiting myself because I was making bad assumptions and just misapplying certain rules. So, long story short, this guy is super dead. It gives me 4 gold, which is good. Now it is day, so going to the desert, it's now going to be super hard because that's going to be 10 points of movement to get to there, and then so 13 points of movement to get to that village. I definitely want to get to that village. I could go around here if that's easy to attack. If I can get myself 4 more points, but it's going to be a tower enemy, so tower enemies are tough. I don't think I've killed one yet. But yeah, 8 points. Yeah, leveling up, getting another skill. I actually like this skill a lot for the final round, especially if I can turn all my attacks into ranged. Actually getting the precision actually it probably makes more sense than I make all my attacks ranged, and I don't have to worry about spending an ability here. So that could be a good combo. So definitely some good combos here. I could try to go there if I can get 4 points in plus 9. If I can get 9 points of movement again, I could level up in that storm. So doing that would be one way to level up, and I don't have to worry about taking any wounds. So definitely a lot of possibilities here. So we are in turn 2. No, that turn 2 was I killed that enemy. We're going to turn 3, and I can get 1, 4, 6. Yeah, there's also, you have refugee camps. I don't know, are they called refugee camps? This is caravans. There are caravans where you can recruit dudes for 1+. You could also spend influence. You could also spend XP points to get crystals. There's a limit on that. So you guys spend 3 XP points to get 3 crystals. So that's another way to get crystals if you don't want to spend the XP at the village. But all of it kind of works. So I'm going to go 1 point of basic movement, and that gives me 5 points of movement. Again, this is 2 physical attack or 4 basic movement as a top action, and then I'm going here. So I 7 points of movement. I'm going to spend 4 points of movement to go in here. Since it's day, that will reveal this guy. Now he... Man, I don't hate the idea of just wiping him out. Oh, I cheated. I cheated. When I was here, I sent 5 points of movement to go in and flip, but I never spent the 2 points of movement to get out of the storm. So the only thing I could do is just take 1 less. I think what I'm trying to remember where I was. I think I did 6 and then 4. That one of them worked. I would have had to do, because I would have had to spend the mana. Right. I know what I did, because I did 2, 6, and then went back up there and spent the mana. So I was able to, I especially gave myself 6 points of movement and effectively enough influence to rebuy the shard I spent. That one of them worked. I would have had to do 2, 6, 8, which would have got me out of the storm. So I would have had to spend the mana and not gotten the mana. So I should have 2 less of these, because it's a 2 difference because I spent the mana and got one. So this time I would just had to spend the mana. I would have had to do 4, 6, 10 just to be able to get there. So that would have got me out of the storm. So let me kind of catch that, and I just spent the 2 now, so I was able to kind of recreate that and do it that way. So sorry about that. So I have 6 points of movement. No, wait. I was here. I did 7 points of movement. 4 got me in there. Right, and so I could go. I think I'll just chill there. Heck was my previous turn. My end of my last turn was there because I moved right because I attacked that guy, and then I came down for 1, 5. 5 gets me there. I technically haven't done my last ability yet. There was no reason to push this all the way up there for 7 because I can't move any further. So I have, again, my last turn when I killed that guy was on there. So then I did 1 point of movement, 4 points of movement. I could have also just advanced that to the 4 points of movement. That probably makes more sense. So let me have done this. Black. So there, the 4 points of movement. I have 2 abilities left. And I'm here. Nah, it doesn't actually help because if I wanted to go in, it doesn't really give me the option. So I would not have done that just yet. So I used 5 points of movement. I have 1 ability left. I don't think I'm going to go in there. He's got 10 health as a tower enemy. Woof. That's fine. It's just an easy way to level up. Yeah, we'll do 4. Maybe just level up that way too. This way's more fun. All right, so we're gonna go there. My 3rd ability, just waste it. My next ability, so I could go into the storm, spend 10. My next turn, so we're on turn 4. Or I could just kill this guy and have fun with it. Which I think would be better, but then I'm going to be 9 points of movement just to get over there. Woof. But then I'll have 1 turn to kind of get some dudes. I do want to get this last skill. All right, so 4th, so I get 1st turn. I bought some crystals. 2nd turn, I killed this dude. 3rd turn, I cost myself a turn. Nah. Am I going to my 3rd turn or my 2nd turn? I don't think I'm my 4th turn yet. I think I cost myself a turn at some point. 1st turn I killed this guy. 2nd turn I just moved. Now I'm going to my 3rd turn. That feels right because I bought a bunch of crystals at the end of the last round when I bought this dude too. So I think I just got screwed up. If I'm taking an extra turn, someone can let me know. So, great to see you again. What's up, Josh? Gotta sleep. We'll catch us tomorrow at least an hour for me. Good luck with this unique looking game. Blah blah. So, what are the first Mr. Pocket Paladin? I already copied its campaign. It looks sweet. Mitch says, just tune in. I need to watch it full later. Is this a new release PMP? Yeah, Joe, the designers here, if you look at the chat earlier, he said it's going to be available on PMP Arcade. And yeah, Blair, yeah, it's pretty solid. I just don't know if I think I just used 2 turns. I think the 1st turn I would have attacked that guy. I don't know why I wouldn't have. And my 2nd turn, I literally just moved. I killed him with that. Yeah, I can't think where that 3rd turn would have gone. All right. So final answer, I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. So my 3rd turn, my 1st turn I killed this dude because I got all the crystals last round. My 2nd turn I moved into here. My 3rd turn I'm moving into here. It's 3 movement because it's a day. I have one more ability. I'm going to use this ability. It gives me 3 ranged attack. I'm going to use this to give me all my attacks ranged, and I'm going to use this to give me 7 more attack. These are exhausted, not wounded. I keep doing that. Move these guys up here so they don't get confusing. That gives me 7 attacks, so I've killed this tower enemy. That lets me take him as XP, so that's now 9 XP. I only need 8 for a level up, so I'm going to move both of these in here. And that gets me here, and I'm going to take this one because giving myself precision when I can make all my attacks ranged is super helpful. I also am in green, so I have access to the green abilities now. Alrighty then. So we are, again, so he wasn't, again, he couldn't be fortified. Wait, no. Wait, I cheated. I did it again. Whoops, I did it again. I couldn't kill him like that because he was fortified. So take this back, take this back. Killing it, guys. These come back. So he's fortified, so I would need the precision, which is exactly why I want that skill. All right, this comes back here. All right, let's do this again. Do it again for the first time. I could. I could do it that way. I like it that way. So we're going to do 4. Spend that mana. Move in here. Use that shard. Go up here. Spend this mana. That's 3. So I use this to get precision. Then I have the 7 points of attack from this and the 3 points from here instead of there. So it's a lot more mana intensive, but I'll be able to replenish on mana up there. So I went in there. I had to give myself precision because the dude is fortified. Enemy fortified. No attacks during range phase unless they have precision. So that's great. He's not double fortified, so we're great. So I did kill him in the range phase. So I gave myself precision. And then we're going to do the level up that I wanted to do. Stop cheating, Greg. And then we're going to give myself this precision ability because it's super fun. All right, so now we go to turn 4. So turn 1, I killed this guy. Turn 2, I moved there. Turn 3, I killed this guy. Turn 4, I have to re-roll this shard. It is club or spade. I'm going to use this to get 4 points of movement. 5 points of movement. Nope, 4 points of movement. I'm going to use this to get myself this and move this here. And then 8 points of movement. 9, 10 points of movement. I only need 9 anyway, so I'm going to not use this. I'm going to do 4 points of movement, 5 points of movement, 9 points of movement. So 4 gets in here, 2 gets me out of the storm, 3 moves me in here. Now I can reveal these clowns. Nope, wrong clowns. 1, 2, 3. And 1. So this is our guy. This guy is not fortified. He's just like a wandering enemy, but then these 3 are. So again, double attack, double health. We'll look at all that math in a second. We go to turn 5. All right, so I killed, I moved, I killed, I got through the storm and got to the village, which is exactly where I want to be. Now, there is an argument to maybe try to get an attack in at the end of round 3. Expert level, you try to do this with only 3 tower enemies in 3 rounds. That seems to be insane to me. Haven't tried it. Don't plan on it. Oh, and I am up here. So I did buy that. But, you know, it is, if you want to really go for it. And then there's like another level, like an impossible level, which I think is 3 rounds, and then that garrison. But yeah, good luck with that. So we are in round, we're in turn 5. That's a club. And I'm going to go 1, 2. I'm going to use the 2 influence I have to buy a mana. And then, so again, it's the thing that's interesting. You can spend and use stuff like influence, just like movement. So again, it's all about how many abilities you trigger. There is no interact in your turns over, right? So again, for a Mage Knight player, it feels wrong that I got 2 influence and I spent the 2. But that's totally fine. Oh, actually, I don't even need to do it that way. I could have actually spent the 2 influence to got that mana and then use that mana there, but I don't want to do that anyway. What I am going to do is, it was 1. I'm going to use this now, finally, for real this time. 2, and that's a free movement. So I have 1 influence, 2, 3, 9 influence. This is my 5th turn, and I'm going to spend this. With that 9 influence, I'm just going to buy 4 mana for 2 each. I'm just going to waste 1 influence. So I'm going to get 2 spades and a 3rd spade. 2 spades, a 3rd spade, and a 3rd black. All right, because I got 1 from this. I had 1. I got 1 from this, and I just bought 1. I had no spades, right? So that's totally right. And then with my last turn, so even if I took an extra turn, I mean, ultimately, I'm just going to be setting myself for next round. We're going to roll this shard. It's a spade. We are going to somewhere I could move easy. All my attacks are range attacks. So how can I maximize attack? That gives me 12. 14. I think that's the most attack I can get on here. Nope. I have to move in too. I can move in with that easy. I get 12 attack. So I'm just going to move 1, 2. I'm going to buy 1 more mana. And we'll make it a diamond. Now we'll make it a spade. All right, end of the round. We're going to night. It's our last round. These skills come back. These come here. Let's take a look at this garrison. So none of them are double fortified. This guy's health is not doubled. He's got magic immunity. He has physical immunity. He has physical immunity. Woof. And he has magic immunity. So all the immunities. He's only attacking with a 4. Attack of a 4, but he's the worst. He's slow. All right, so when I did that last turn, I would not have. I wanted to end somewhere different. Instead of trying to maximize that, I want that 6 range attack. I'm going to move 1, 2, 3. And that gives me 4 influence instead of 2 influence. So I'll get another black mana as well. All right, we're going to re-roll this for the next round. Is now a diamond spade. Yeah, I just hadn't looked at these enemies, but I definitely need some magic attack to kill him. This physical attack will kill him. This magic attack is going to be just shy, but it's fine. All right, so next round, first turn, it's night. I'm going to spend 4 points of movement to go in. We're taking on the city. I'm going to use this to give all my attacks precision. I'm going to use this to make all my attacks ranged. We're going to use this I'm going to use a diamond magic. Look at me. That's 6 magic range attack. His health is double. He's physically resistant, so I definitely need to kill him this way. He also has trap and bleed, so that's or deadly. So killing him is super helpful. He's a tower enemy, so that gives me 4 points of XP. I have one more ability and only one. So I'm going to use this attack, this 4 physical attack. I'm going to use to exhaust this guy. This skill is down here. And that's going to be enough to kill this wandering enemy. He's not a tower enemy, so he's just face up, but he's 4 points as well. And then I have one more. So that's... I think I can kill this clown. So this is a magic attack. So I just essentially need 2 more attack of any type. I'm going to use this 3 attack. It's inefficient because it's physical against him, but it gives me enough to between this and this. That's going to kill him pretty easily. And he's a tower enemy. So that gives me another 4 points. So I can spend this 12 points to level up if I want to. It's probably not worth it. It's just gonna be another ally slot who really cares. And he's attacking me with an attack of a 4. I could use that 4 points of damage to assign it to him and just kill him. All right. Yeah, he's one of the easier enemies to work. He just has 8. I have to do 8 points of damage to him, but I think we'll find a way. So got lucky with the enemies that were in this tower pretty easily. So we bounce back because there's still an enemy alive. We go to turn 2. We just have to figure out how to kill our man over here. So I didn't take any wounds to myself, just took the 1 wound to him. I'm going to use this skill to get a black mana and move this along. And then we're going to use in round 2, we're going to move, or turn 2, round 4, we're going to move in. We're taking 4 points of damage. I'm just going to take 1 wound. I could wound this guy, but it doesn't really matter. And then we're going to go here with my second. Yeah, I couldn't block. That's fine. So I'm going to go here with my second ability, and then my third ability moving in here. Now this ability has a cost of taking another damage, but that gives me 8 points of physical attack. He's got a magic immunity, but he has 4 health, doubled. He's a tower enemy, so 8 health, so he's also dead. So at this point, I could spend. I mean, I have tons of XP here. I have actually 16 XP, so I could spend and level up. So, but that's it. That was a pretty um, uh, anticlimactic final round. They're normally a lot closer. I do find this side a lot easier for 2 reasons. One, the fact is you can get up here without having to face a tower enemy right before you go in. And 2 is when you lose, you can come right back here. You can take a lot of turns to heal. You can recruit more recruit more allies. If you have a wounded ally, you can just replace him with a different ally from here. Oh, I never actually replaced these. So ultimately, this would have been the new source. So you could recruit, like some of these guys are really strong. But that combo of precision plus turning all your attacks ranged, it can be really, really sick. So kind of finding the skills that work together can be super helpful. But so you can kind of see like 2 very, very different playthroughs, right? I mean, it was like, whoop, got absolutely smushed down here, or actually down here in the first playthrough, and then had a pretty, pretty yawn inducing a win in the second one. But like, it's super cool. I mean, it's like you still have that maze night build up of like where you're like you again, like I can't do anything, to like having a tough time to beat like the biggest, like, cursed hag, right? To all of a sudden you're just absolutely annihilating an entire castle worth of enemies. Let me see what time it is. It's almost pushing noon. I think I can throw in this one more. I think it might be good to get a little variety of this. So if we do, we'll make sure this guy's at the bottom, this is at the top, and we'll just try to do this one a little bit quicker, and we'll play with the purple paladin, which I think is super cool. Hello, Greg. We're missing you and your streams. Thank you, Johan. Good to hear from you, buddy. Joe says amazing. We'll play great. Thanks for the playthrough. Fun to watch. Yeah, man. I'm definitely impressed with what's going on here. I mean, this is it's a pretty it's pretty meaty. I don't know if you were here right on time too when I was telling people about Pocket Watch, which I really enjoy. I might actually sell all my set of watch and just keep Pocket Watch at this point. Um, but I haven't officially decided yet. But it's looking that way. The Doom Run campaign was like, game kind of went in some directions I didn't love. So but Pocket Watch kind of gives me more of that tight, shorter experience that I really want from that game, in a way that I really dig. So, I digress. Let's. You all miss me bitching about games. It's like, Set of Watches was definitely a top 10 for me for a long time, and I just feel like what I loved about the original, I stopped liking. Their design direction went in a way I liked it less and less and less. It just got just a little cheesed. But that's about it. But what I mean, I feel like I'm out of the loop, man. Like, are there any friggin' like new solo games that I'm missing? I have not been paying attention. I feel like things have slowed down a little bit, and obviously there have been some global issues happening and some companies shutting down. Um, but yeah, just really, I've played a lot of co-op lately. I've been playing a lot of Spirit Island, again, Dawn of the Zeds, Uprising. I've been playing a lot of Uprising. There's some. Stay tuned for that. There's some news coming down the pipe, but I won't say anymore before I get in trouble. But that's gonna be cool. Elder Tower in your pants would be a great title. maybe I don't. I'm actually about to start the Rising Tide campaign with some friends. I haven't played Arkham in a minute, so looking forward to that. Just yeah, my time for gaming was real limited for the last few months, so it's been nice to kind of get back into it. And um, we did do a bunch of traveling in June, so it was nice to actually have Pocket Paladin with me. And I think that's really the only thing I played on that trip, so it was really good. All right, let's make this happen. So we're gonna get on the purple side, and we should be able to play this hopefully in a more the more normal length of time this game will take. Is this the red one? It is not. Is this the red one? It is not. Woof. Last one. Are you red? You are red. Again, the one that's supposed to have the deadly ability affected should be on the wound track, and we'll go from there. Do you plan on streaming some more Uprising? I don't know, man. I would love to stream a lot of things. It's just been a lot of life updates I gave at the beginning of this playthrough, so we'll see. I mean, if I can stream once every other week, I think that'll be great. I do want to get the OG Mage Knight on the channel, and then I did learn some games. I mean, I played some Solomon Kane. I played some Bloodborne. Um, I've really played One Deck Galaxy, which is an interesting take on One Deck Dungeon. I've really grown to play a lot more One Deck Dungeon with a couple of my friends. That game's really grown on me a lot. Yeah, obviously, I think just again, the headspace I'm in and the time I had, like these smaller um, footprint games have been super helpful. Want to explore Hoplo. I mean, so we'll see what I really get on the channel. I did the Spires and Hildegard. I played through. That's on the sell pile. Finished Kings of Ruin. Yeah, but I might have actually finished that. Was that fun before the channel kind of shut down for a while? I don't think so. But yeah, Uprising's never too far from the list. Yeah, I picked up Reckoners. I don't know, man. Exciting times. So yeah, we'll see what I can realistically stream in the near future. So that goes there. That goes there. It's our turtle friend. That goes there. That goes there. Turtle friend down here, just to be clear. I don't know if I rolled this. I don't know. It's a diamond. Oh, it's the worst. Actually, diamond's probably good for this dude. Yeah, diamond's fine for him. Turtle friend sucks though. Not gonna lie. We have to put these guys out. So, oh, that's gonna mess me up. I gotta put these on top. Sorry. All right. So with purple dude, you start with the ability to have an ally, but not much else. You don't really have any range attack early. So that means your physical attacks, your melee attacks are halved against Turtle Boy. I think I might be able to make, nah, 4. I can make that work anyway, I think. 2, 2, 4. Yeah, it's fine. Great. So first turn, I'm going to move in here. I'm going to take 2 wounds. He attacking me with a 4. And then I'm going to, so I moved in here with this first ability. My second ability, I'm getting 2 attack. And then my third ability, I'm using that shard to get 4 more attacks. That's 6 physical attack. It's halved because he has flying, and they're melee attacks, but it is enough to kill him. And then I can go immediately into a level up and get myself my first skill, which is super helpful. Now the skills I can go through water. If I go through water, if I end on a water space, I get a blue mana. I could get precision again, which was super helpful. Or I could ignore 1 enemy ability, which often can be super helpful as well. But I actually love recruiting both of those guys. Precision doesn't help purple dude as much because he doesn't really have the ranged attacks that red dude has, right? I do want to probably kill this guy and then use that storm to level up if I can get the movement. I will need black mana for the movement there. Maybe 3 to move in. Can I get 6 movement? I think so. I think so. Getting to the desert would be annoying. Take 1 more wound and get to heal. I think if I end there and heal, I think it'll be a good round. So what mana do I, what ability do I want? Moving to lakes isn't doing. Canceling an ability can be helpful. Yeah, we're gonna get the cancel ability guy, and that will be fine. We go to turn 2. I'm gonna move here. We re-roll this. Spade. Spade's not useful. Spade's really not useful. I'm gonna move 2. Move. Just move that there. Now there's another ability on here, which if I, as the basic action, if I end there, I get to take a crystal. Now I can't be like in the middle of moving. I mean, if I take a crystal as the action, then I would lose any like movement bank or attack bank, so you have to like make sure you're timing it right. So I moved, I just wasted that, and then I'll move here and I'll end there and I'll get a crystal. I'm going to take myself a diamond because that's super helpful. To block this guy would be 4 points of 3 points of 6 points of magic block, actually, because he's got that skull thing, so it's double block. So I would need 6 points of magic block. That's gonna be really hard, so I'm not gonna worry about that. Now I could take away that ability and make it 3 points of magic block, but the problem is I can't get the block and then I get to the 4 points of physical attack I'm gonna need. But I guess I could do magic attack. But rolling that spade was just garbage. It was really, really bad. It's the one thing with this game is, man, when that shard does not cooperate. Like, I needed mana, I needed club or spade, and I got diamond. The question is, I think I just take the 1 wound and just kill this dude. So I won't take the diamond. I would take the club from that last ability. Third turn. Oh man, this is not. Can I? No, I can't even do that. It doesn't matter. Yeah, because none of those are. It doesn't matter. I'll take the diamond. Because I was thinking I take the club. I can do the magic attack, but that's not gonna work. I think I'd rather go there. 3. Great. So I'm gonna go. One for movement. I did another ability just to move it along. I didn't need the movement. Then I'm going to take the 1 wound, and then I'm going to come down and spend this, and we have does that make more sense? Yeah, spade is horrible, and there's no good way to use it. But we've killed this guy on my 3rd turn. On my 4th turn, I'm going to go up and down. I'm going to get myself a club. And then I'm going to chill. On my 5th turn, I'm going to get 2 points of movement, 4 points of movement, 7 points of movement using this club. 3 gets me in here. And then it doesn't matter. I won't use the club. 3 gets me in here. Shoot, and I'm going to lose a turn. That spade was the worst. I am going to need 7 points of movement. So I'm going to use the club. So 7 points of movement. So 3 gets me in. And then I'm going to spend 2 more points of movement. Then I have 4 excess. I'm going to use 3 of them to help with this level up here. That gets me to level 3. And I'm stuck there. I still have to escape the storm. And I want to get there. I'll heal up, but I'm just going to lose a turn this round, which is that's a bad first round. But I did level up twice, and hopefully we'll be able to make it work. I need to get here. Hopefully I can buy a couple of good allies and just really load up on the XP. And I just rolling that spade, I was hoping to have that XP available for that, but lo and behold, we do access this, and I'll be able to get the 7 XP over here because now I did level up again, which helps. So we're going to night. The good thing is I got in there during the day because getting in there at night would have been 2 more points of movement, and that would have been really hard to get in there and level up. This comes out, bam, and Ally, ally, gotta keep it even. I'll re-roll this. It's a spade or a club, and that is fine. So turn one, remember, so I lost a turn because this thing was across that line. She's got to be worried about that. Now I have to spend 2 points of movement to get out of the storm, another 3 to get into the thing. So we're going to go down here. I'm going to get a crystal of my choice. I'm going to get myself a diamond. I'm going to go up here for 2 points of movement. I'm out of the storm, and then 3 points of movement with that shard to get into there. All right. And actually, I would have taken a club when I went to there. We go to turn 2. Rolling this. It's a club. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to get one thing. We get a diamond. We're going to get here is my second action. That's 8. That's one influence. I'm just using it for the base action. And then here, that's 7 more influence. So I have 8 points of influence. How are these units? Not amazing. We will spend 5 on him. And then 1 point of healing. I might actually need the spade. I'll go 5 on him, and I'll get a spade. We go to turn 3, re-rolling the shard. It's a spade or a club. I'm going to go 1 point of influence, 2 point of influence. Now I actually some ranged attack, by the way. It's magic, though, and of course he's immune. 2 point influence, and then I'll go. So again, I'm not using it for the crystal, which actually I might as well. So 1 crystal, I'll get a diamond, and then I'll go up here with a spade. So 4 points of influence. And that's going to give me 2 more. I'll get 1 point of healing, 2 points of healing. We go to our 4th turn, so we're just camping out in this village. Big time. 4th turn, I'm going to come down here, get a crystal. I'll get a club. A 2nd ability, 3rd ability, using this. I have 8 points of influence. I'm going to get this. So I got both my ally slots filled up, and I get a point of healing. All right. Well, that's silly. Now I'll get another crystal. I'll get a diamond. Oh, that's healing. That's influence too. I keep forgetting about that. That's fine. I think I move. Yeah, I don't think I care about this dude. I won't get a diamond. I'll get a spade. No, I'll get a diamond. All right. 5th turn. I'm going to go 3 points of movement. 4 points of movement. 5, 6 points of movement. That gets me into there. I end my turn there. I got a crystal instead of the healing because I knew I was going to heal there. And then turn 6, I'm going to go. Shoot. 5, 6 points of movement. I'll go that way. Then I'm going to go. My first activation is 2 points of movement. Second activation, I have to re-roll this. I'm going to use this mana to get 5 points of movement. Gets me into the tower, the thing at night. And then I'm going to make him unfortified. And I'm going to use this to go 4 points of ranged magic attack. He's not magic resistant. I took away his fortification. So now he's dead, and I get that for XP. It's going to become day. Oh, I didn't use. either of these because I forgot they were a thing. But can't really do much with them anyway. Well, I could have done this. Yeah, that makes more sense. So I don't use that spade. I don't need it, but I might be overplaying that. You might have to spend. I gotta get the rule book. Hold on one sec. It might actually work like crystallize if I'm thinking about it now. It might work like crystallize. Yeah, it's not on any of the things, which probably should be. Not gonna lie. Crystallize shows means you can just be able to use store the donated number of crystals. Okay. You can use one crystal from the source. It uses the crystal from the source this turn, but you re-roll the source shard as normal. I can't even think about how many times I use it. And what I use it for, and it uses up the source. A lot of times I would have had the XP, but if I just give myself 3 less crystals, I think that's about the only fix I get. So you're essentially crystal. You have to use the thing from the source, which I will do this turn. I was like, wait, it just dawned on me that that's a crystallize. So it's not like get a crystal. It's you actually have to spend a crystal to get it. But anyway, so I avoided his things. I'm going to use this attack. It's a ranged attack. So, and then my last action, I'm going to do this and get that spade back instead of going there. So hopefully it would work out. So I just had some more crystals than I should have. Again, I can't imagine it would have done much for me. So if I take 3 less crystals, I think that's about right. There were times I would have been to just go there, get an XP, have extra XP to spend to buy a crystal. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. But all right, that's there. We're resetting up for the 3rd round. Wait, nope, he's not. That's there. I murdered him. This is here. Now it's day. So wait, we have to reset the offer. So 1, 2, 3, and then this guy is going to come here because it's day, so he's revealed. Wait, I'm not next to him. That's not who's revealed. This guy's revealed. Look at that. So flying, it would be 4 health, 8 attack. So you can ignore a skill on an enemy, but you can't ignore the fact that he's fortified from the thing. Not sure that 3 XP does much for me. I definitely don't have block 8. Could potentially get block 8. Block 8. It's a hill, so it's 3 to get in. Okay. 4. I could ignore that ability and just count that way, but I don't want to. Like, wait, he's only doing 8 damage. That'd be 3 wounds. All right, we're gonna go. Let me roll this. That's pretty straight up. That's fine. So we're gonna move. We're gonna flip this. We have a tower. This guy comes here. Oh, look at that. So tower enemy. He's got 5. That's probably more useful. He's doing less wounds to me too, which is better. He would wound me though, which is still fine. I can heal. So 2/2. Then I'm gonna come down here, spend this to get myself another spade. Now that I remember what that ability is supposed to do. No, you know what? I don't want the other spade. I'm gonna stay there. I think it was spade diamond. Yeah, it's easier movement. No, I will come down there and get a spade. I will. That comes out. Diamond. Alright, my second turn. We're gonna move in. We're fighting this guy. We're in a tower. He's got some wound and some other stuff. Just fine. I'm not gonna block. I need 6 points of damage. That's fine. I'm not gonna block him. So 2 damage because it's 2 wounds because it's 6 points of damage. Plus he has the deadly ability. And then I'm going to, which I could negate, but I don't want to. I definitely want to kill the thing there this round. So that's 2 points of damage, and then we'll use the spade for 6 points of damage. That's ranged magic, but I can use it in this phase as regular. So I'm going to combine those 2 attacks to kill this guy. That's 7 XP complete total. So I'm going to put this. Oh, shoot. I think I messed up the arrangement. This should have been. That's fine. I could have done 4 and 3. It's fine. It was still legit. I had a magic guy masquerading as I had a purple enemy with the red enemies, but I think it would have still been legit in placement of the offer. But that is a level up. That gets me another skill, 2 movement or double a block. I think we get the 2 movement. Double a block. I don't really have a lot of great blocks. Yeah, this is shaping up to be a more difficult finale. We get the 2 movement just to kind of do something a little different. All right. This is actually the style of play I've been playing with the most, and getting through all that's going to be difficult anyway. So, turn 3, we're going to come down here. I'm going to do that to get that, and then 2, 4. Well, 2. Oh, and this is open. 2, 6, 8. So now I'm all the way up here. It's day. This guy reveals. He's not great. So that'd be 6 points of block. I need a black crystal. 6/6. I get that. That's good. My 4th turn, I'm going to move in with this shard, this mana from the crystal shard. It gets me in here. He's got physical resistance. So block. I can negate that. Great. So this, I'm going to use that ability for 2 block. That's 6 block. Oh, he's attacking with a 12, Greg. He's attacking with a 12, so I can't block him. He's fortified. I can't get precision with what I have right now. 4 points of damage is 3 wounds plus 1 because I got the deadly effect. Alright, if I moved in here, I don't attack him this turn. Moved 1. If I move 1, 2, 3, come down here, get a crystal. And then come up here, spend this crystal for 4 points of influence. I get a thing, and then I'll flip this wound over. Turn 5. We're going to roll this. That. I'm going to bring this down, use that to get that, and then 8 points of influence. I'm going to get a bunch more crystals. Oh, I'm going to get 2 points of healing and then 2 more crystals. One, 2. And then we have this. We go to my last turn. I'm going to come in here with this crystal, attack. I'm getting 12 points of damage. So that's 1, 2, 3. And then since I went past the thing, I get 1 more. But now I just need 6 points of magic attack or 12 points of physical attack. I can make him lose his physical resistance. And then we'll come here and to yikes. We'll go here. Oh yeah, just so 4 points, and then that's enough. And I have that too. So yeah, he's super dead. But we definitely have to heal up beginning of next round, and we'll see if there's going to be enough. But he's super dead, so this comes out. This is 6 points of skill. Yeah, I think this is gonna not end well. I do find this a harder place because you're again the skills didn't really come together for me this round, this turn, this game the way they did last round, and now I have to do this weird movement thing where I'm trying to go to this and then getting over here and then going back if I want to take advantage of the village between turns. But we'll see if I can't get myself a better setup. But yeah, these skills are rough. But now I'm here. These guys are going to come out. And I actually need one more, so we ran out. So I'll just take this guy, which is not exactly the thing of dreams. But he's wandering at least. All right, we're going to go to the next round. I definitely have to get to that village and heal. We're at night. It's going to be 5 points of movement in. We're going to roll this. And that's fine. So 2, 5, and then 4. Gonna heal 2. Oh, these have to get refreshed. So 2 of these guys. That's a 6 block. And that's a 5 attack. This is 6 block. Gonna do anything for me? Yes. Alright, turn 2. So if I can get 7, I think I replace him. 4 magic attack isn't great either. Alright, we're gonna go 1, 8 XP, 9 XP. I still don't have access to these guys. So I'm gonna get the 6 block, which gets rid of you. I can't down on precision anyway. And then I'm gonna get my black back. We come here, turn 3. I'm gonna go 1 XP, 4 XP. This is 5 XP. I'm gonna heal 2. And then 1 movement, 3 movement gets me here. 4th turn, see if I can't get 2 rounds at this. All right, 4th turn, I'm going to move in. I'm going to take him out with this spade so the wandering guy is dead. Because he has poison, he sucks. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on there. I'm going to block, so I have 2 more actions over here. I'm going to block this guy with this ability, so that guy's exhausted. And then I'm taking 4 damage, 8 damage, which is fine. I'm going to take 1 wound from him, and then 8 points of damage here, 1 wound, and then I'm going to assign the other guys to this guy, so he's wounded. So I have 2 more activations. I can group these. Can I get 12 points of damage? I can. Then they'll both be dead. And I can negate. So I can kill any 2 of these, really. I'm going to negate his flying. I'm going to go down here, over here. So it's 8 points of damage. None of them have any resistances, so we do have to worry about grouping resistances, but it's not a thing right now. And then I have this 4, so that's 12 points of damage. So that kills any 2. I will kill the 2 harder ones. Remember, I took care of his flying. I'm going to use... can I level up twice? So I have a 6 and a 3 and a 5 and a 5. I can level up twice. Look at that. So we have... these 2 go here. These 2 go here. We're leveling up twice, gives me another skill. I'll take this skill. We go to my 5th turn. I have this as a once a turn thing, so I'm gonna get move 2 in here. I'm gonna take 1 wound. So this is my last round. And now I just need to get 6 points of damage on this clown. And actually, I don't need to take the wound. I can, oh, it's 4 points of damage. I'm taking a wound anyway. I'm going to advance the thing and get a mana. So I'll advance this here, and then I'm going to get 2 attack, 6 attack. And I didn't even use that last round, which I probably should have, but it doesn't matter. So 6 attacks. So I actually pulled it off anyway. Whee! All right. That was good. Whew. All right. I'm sure that was like confusing to follow. Oh, this would have come off too. Right. That could have been even more fun. I could have just done a 6 magic attack, and we probably could have blocked that, but I really didn't feel the need to. I mean, he's doing a physical attack. Do I get 4 physical blocks somewhere? Could have gone. Nah, I don't think I could have. If I went here, I get 4 block. Just moved and then 6 attack. Yeah, I could have actually blocked that last wound. Had I remembered that was opened up. So, yeah, good times. That was I was overplaying that ability. Again, I cost myself 3 crystals. I think that probably net even, but just had the absolute right, like the math just kind of worked out for me. Being able to negate flying, and the enemies weren't awful. I had that 4 ranged magic attack, which took care of that one enemy who was super annoying. Oh, shoot. He's got magic resistance. I would have had a, let me take this out. I would have had to use that on that. I think we can recreate this. I would have had to use that to negate his magic resistance. Then he was still dead. And then I would have had to kill, not the flying guy. I would have had to kill this guy. And I still think I could have gotten 9 out of that. Yes, indeed. So then my last turn with the new ability, can I get 8? Get non-magic attacks are halved. So I would have been here. He would have still just done 2 wounds to me, so that would not have mattered. And actually, he would have done 1 to me. I could have assigned 1 to him. I would have moved in, and then can I get, so range? Yeah, I could have done it this way. I could have moved here with that ability, gotten the black. That's 1, 2 with the spade, so that's actually efficient. So now I just need that. So that would take care of 4 of his 6 health, and now I just need to take care of the last 2. I got to come down here with that diamond, and then that last 4 points of attack would have been halved, but it's 2 would have been enough to kill him. So yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, lots of little things. It's just easy to miss them all, like how tiny this is. I do think the borders could have been a little smaller, but the black borders are taking up a lot of the space on these tokens, make these a little bit easier to see. But again, I think just again having a printout like an aid for people that just has all the tokens in large, I think could be super helpful. So yeah, so we got there, even with all the having to refigure it and kind of remath it. We were able to get there pretty easily, and just making sure I had, yeah, because I had the 3. We killed him, so he was 3. Yeah, because I had a 3 and a 5 and a 3 and a 6. So we were, because he was fortified there. So that would have got me those 2 level ups for sure. So which gives me that 3rd skill, which allowed me to move around. And as long as I got back up to that ranged attack, we would have had enough attack to take down the giant turtle. So it is what it is. I did not hear the beginning of the stream, so sorry for the questions. Don't be sorry at all, sir. Adam says, welcome back, Greg. Thank you, sir. We'll see how often I can pop up. And then Adam Duvall says, so where can we get this game? That's a good question. If you go, I know there was a Kickstarter or some sort. There was some kind of backing for it, and I don't know if it's going to be available on the publisher's website or whatnot. So hopefully Joe can leave a couple of comments later. But yeah, Joe had reached out to me and asked if I wanted a review copy. I was blatantly honest and said, dude, I don't know when the heck I'm ever streaming again, if ever. And he was like, I'm going to send it to you anyway. So I was happy to have it, happy to, we traveled a bunch in June, as soon as the kind of campaign stuff ended, and before we kind of were making some family decisions. So it's a good time to travel, and you just had it with me, and I was like really, really impressed with it. So it's a reimagining. This system is super interesting. You will want to. It takes some time to kind of see the combos that are there. Like, where is the influence combo, like cycle that you can get? Where can you get your movement? Where can you get your damage? That box where costs the heart to get the damage, it looks like it's going to be awesome for you, but it's kind of in a pretty inconvenient place, so you really have to have some kind of skill that gives you movement on this to get there. The blocking strategy is strong, but it's really also hard to pull off without the allies that cost 6, 7, 8 influence. They're super important, I found, in this game, unless you get the skill combo like I had last turn, where it was like, precision and all my attacks are ranged. Okay, that was a nice little smushing, but the amount of decision space and thought that goes into this game. um, there's 2 pretty cool wins. The second one was a lot closer. That's been more of my experience. I have lost this game a lot more than I've won. I think I might just finally be at that turning point where that would flip, and maybe I could consider trying this on expert and getting this done in 3 rounds. That just seems like not happening. So. But yeah, thanks again to Joe. Thanks again for everyone that stopped in. It was good to kind of get a little nostalgia here, as kind of think about the times that were, not that long ago. I do want to kind of explore these side quests and scenarios. Maybe if I kind of get my head wrapped around those at some point, I can throw one of those on the channel. But the idea of the side quest is it's going to be like another map that comes along, and kind of sits next door to it. And then, like, one of them, there's like a mini boss in one of these areas. The other way, there's a couple ways it sits. But again, one of them, you start over here and you have to cross, but obviously you see these dead spaces in between. So I have to kind of get on top of the rules and figure out all that means. But I think you're supposed to like add a round, because it does definitely increase the difficulty. But I think the storm's an interesting mechanic. I think everybody's just really smart with it. I think flying took me a while to get my head wrapped around, but it's definitely smart. And the idea of precision and using precision. Again, I don't think Joe totally clarified. I think you can attack in the range phase a tower enemy with flying with precision. I think precision takes care of 2 birds with 1 stone, but precision will not help you against a tower enemy that has fortified. So that's something to be aware of. But again, that one skill where I was just negating flying was super cool. I negated resistance several times with that, was super cool. Ruh-roh. He was dead. He's fortified. What was the other? The turtle was the last enemy, right? Where is Mr. Turtle? Right. Oh, I thought I negated flying, but instead I negated the physical. Right. I negated the poison resistance. I negated the magic resistance because that was a magic attack. And again, that was a wandering enemy in the castle, so I just took care of him. So that's going to be similar to having multiple enemies in a castle where they kind of get joined and thrown into the garrison. So, but yeah, lots of cool parts. The two paladins do feel more different than they probably should. So that's cool. I think the number of turns where you find yourself just camped out on a on a village and you're just kind of you're healing, you're recruiting units, and you're getting crystals. That's normal if you spend 3-4 turns just kind of getting yourself totally leveled up, as far or geared up and getting those crystals and getting your healing somewhere in the second or third round. That's going to be totally normal. A built-in crystallized on this I think is super clever. Don't overplay it the way I was at the beginning of this playthrough. Again, I think I'm more than made up for it in just losing 3 crystals as a kind of a penalty, and just kind of moving on kind of worked. So that is about that. So any questions, comments, epiphanies, please put them in the comment section below. There is a listing for Pocket Paladin on Board Game Geek, so hopefully all the links to where you can buy this and the future of this game you can just find on there. But it's been really nice to be back with y'all, and hopefully I'll be back within the next couple of weeks, and that seems somewhat realistic. So until then, happy gaming.
Solo.